That's Blue Jackets, babe. Pwned. Dude, don't chirp my friends on Twitter, man. At Blue Jackets, babe. Pwned. Boom. You ready? Big news. What?
Whoosh. Seriously?
No pigs yet. What? What was he doing? Wow. Bring him on. Beautiful. Leafs make a trade, Gustafsson needs surgery, Kessel has a fight, and Blake finally ends his scoring drought. Oh, and the Leafs win 6-3 over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Not long before the game, the Leafs announced that they traded Jiri Tlusty to the Carolina Hurricanes for prospect Philippe Paradis playing for the Shawinigan Cataracts of the QMJHL. This we shall save for later. And after leaving last game due to heart concerns, Jonas Gustafsson requires another heart surgery. The Leafs are going to have to miss him for a couple weeks, but at the same time, you just want him to return healthy. But how about Joey McDonald? The Leafs were outshot 36-25, but the Joey Mac attack shut the door. Steve Mason, on the other hand, Team Canada would like a word with you, was pulled after allowing 4 goals. And this allowed 5 Leafs to have 2-point nights. Jason Blake finally potted a pair, Lee Stempniak broke his scoring drought too, and Mikhail Grabovski had a pair of assists. If you were criticizing my last video and you played last night, you probably had a good game. And the Columbus defense was soft around these guys, but at the same time, they made a few really pretty plays to get those points. And Phil Kessel pots 2 goals of his own, and he gets into a scrap near the end of the game. Oh, the good old Gordie Howe hat trick. No, a Gordie Howe hat trick isn't 2 goals in a fight. It's a goal and assist in a fight. Yeah, but this is better. Good point. Still wrong, though. Not too much going on in that fight, and Kessel leaves for the box with a sinister, bloody smile. He's trying to appeal to Twilight fans. And as Ron Wilson mentioned after the game, the Leafs played pretty sloppy. But you can't argue with the 6-3 result, and it was a huge confidence boost to some of the Leafs that were struggling. And a little side note, this was the Leafs' first game against former teammate Anton Stralman. They'll miss the 16 points he's got so far this season, but he can keep the -10. On to the trade. 2006 first-rounder Jiri Tlusty was traded away. However, in return, the Leafs get Philippe Paradis, a 2009 27th overall pick, which means the Leafs now have 2 first-round picks from the 2009 NHL entry draft. Nazem Kadri and Philippe Paradis. Both of them grew up as Habs fans, but they're better now. My question to you guys is, what do you think about this trade? Was it a good trade for the Leafs? Was it pretty much in the middle, or did they make a mistake? I'm going to have to say it's pretty much in the middle. I think the problem with Jiri Tlusty is he was pretty decent, but he wasn't quite what the team expected he would be. Philippe Paradis, on the other hand, must have been someone the Leafs scouted a fair bit leading up to the draft, and they saw something they wanted in him. Granted, Paradis is still in junior, so he's not as far along in his development as Tlusty. We'll just have to wait and see how this trade pans out. But a little more interesting, Brian Burke broke one of his rules. Now, he said last year that he doesn't like trading players in December because it's so close to Christmas. And that's noble of him, sure, but he saw a trade that he wanted to make, and he made it, and I think that was the right choice. Was the content of the trade the right choice? We'll have to see. Now, something to consider is just how well the Leafs have played lately. In their last 8 games, the Leafs are 5-1-2. I know. What team am I talking about? The Leafs now find themselves 6 points out of a playoff spot with a game in hand on the Islanders. Considering where things were a few weeks ago, I think Leafs fans should be excited. And here's the thing. Based on the way the season has gone, the Leafs probably won't make the playoffs. But if they do make the playoffs, they would have had to play so ridiculously well between now and then that they would be one of the best teams in the NHL. It's very unrealistic to expect the Leafs to do this, but there's over 50 games left and stranger things have happened. So let me ask you guys then, the Toronto Maple Leafs, playoffs? And speaking of the playoffs, next game is against the Boston Bruins, and if you want to make the playoffs, there's the team you gotta beat. You are not getting Taylor Hall. Peace, guys. Let me know what you think. And through his son, this video is dedicated to Thomas Irving, a longtime LFR watcher. You will be missed.